Hi, welcome to Rocky River Presbyterian Church and our Wednesday evening devotions. Tonight, we're going to be in Paul's letter to the church at Philippi, or Philippians chapter 3. Philippi was a major city in Macedonia, and the church is discussed in Acts chapter 16. This church had a great relationship with Paul, and Paul loved them. That's deeply evident in this letter to the church. I would say this is my favorite letter that Paul has written. For this reason, Paul writes this letter while he is incarcerated. He is being taken to Rome to be tried. His future is uncertain, and there are a number of death overtones in this letter. I think that he is going to be executed once he gets to Rome and he's tried. Yet in the midst of his suffering and his uncertainty, he offers a lot of joy and a lot of rejoicing in this letter. There's a great deal of hope in his message to the church. Listen to some of the things that Paul has to say. Yes, I will continue to rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Those are amazing verses from someone who is in prison on his way to an uncertain future. And now hear the verses from chapter 3 that we're looking at tonight, verses 13 and 14. Beloved, this one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on to the goal for the prize of the heavenly call of God in Jesus Christ. No matter his current circumstance, which is not good for Paul, Paul is still focused on his goal in faith, the call of God in Christ. You know, we're living in interesting times, to say the least. COVID is ever on our minds, and it has changed us for the foreseeable future. Politics are in our face all the time now. You can't watch television without seeing at least 5 commercials in a row. Even still, here is the good news for us today from the book of Philippians. As individuals and as families and as a church, a congregation, we are called to the good news in Christ. We are called to go forward and press on. As a pastor, I don't know what you're going through today. I do know that our distance is frustrating to me. Speaking into my phone as a camera is odd at the very least. But if our faith has any truth in it at all, it is this: even amidst our current situation, we leave behind our yesterdays and we look forward and keep going to the future, pressing on, whatever that may look like. You know, there have been elevators in the last 3 churches that I've pastored, and that means you have to have consistent inspections from the state. So I've seen those guys come and go, those elevator inspectors, all these years. And I can't say that I've ever had a conversation with any one of those fellas to speak of until today. The elevator inspector stopped me out in the parking lot and just began encouraging me and saying that he knows it must be tough to be a pastor during these times, but he actually encouraged me to keep pressing on, using those words. It was one of the most uplifting conversations that I've had to speak of lately. You know, that conversation probably never would have happened had we not been in the current state we are in. It's a small thing, but it's not such a small thing after all. It's a still small voice speaking to me to keep pressing on. And my hope for you is that during these interesting times, you'll have an opportunity to hear that small voice speaking to you too, to keep pressing on. The one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the heavenly call of God in Christ Jesus. I hope you press on to that heavenly call. Thanks be to God. And thank you for being with us tonight at Rocky River Presbyterian Church for our Wednesday evening devotional time. Remember, be safe and be well, and keep pressing on to be the church.